Naughty Dog reportedly lays off at least 25 with Last of Us multiplayer game on ice. Kotaku is reporting that Naughty Dog, the PlayStation first-party studio behind The Last of Us and Uncharted franchises, has laid off at least 25 developers, cutting their contract short. The layoffs reportedly began last week, according to two of Kotaku's sources, and various departments from art to production were hit. The majority of those laid off were Naughty Dog's quality assurance testing department. The 25 contract developers laid off were part of a downsizing at the studio, but Kotaku reports that full-time staff do not appear to be affected. The publication's sources say severance is not being offered to those laid off, and those affected, as well as those still working at Naughty Dog, are being pressured to keep the news quiet. Kotaku says the contracts of those affected won't be officially cut until the end of October, and those hit are expected to work through this month. Game Informer has reached out to PlayStation to ask for comment or statement. Within Kotaku reports, the publication says that one of its sources says Naughty Dog's in development Last of Us multiplayer game is not completely canceled, but is basically on ice at this point. This follows news from earlier this year where Naughty Dog said the game needs more time and that our team will continue to work on the project as well as other games in development, including a brand new single player experience. A few weeks after that statement from the studio, Bloomberg reported that the team working on the game was scaled back after a recent evaluation. The publication wrote that Sony asked Destiny 2 developer Bungie, which it now owns after a $3.6 billion acquisition in January of last year, to assess The Last of Us multiplayer game's development. Bungie reportedly questioned its long-term viability as a live service game, which led to Naughty Dog reassessing the game, scaling back the team, and moving developers to other projects. The hearts of the Game Informer staff are with everyone affected by these layoffs and still at the studio. So, what do you think of these layoffs happening at Naughty Dog?
I'm very surprised. It's surprising at the same time. It's kind of weird to say this. It's to say that Naughty Dog, after all these decades, have been around for making Crash Bandicoot games, Uncharted games. You figure it has a multi-billion-dollar IPs combined together, and they had to cut 25 people down out their company staff. It's kind of like weird. But I guarantee you, though, if you check out the executives' bonuses over the next several months from here on out, it must have went not quadruple, but at least it'll increase by several $1,000s easily after cutting back those workers. It's like a typical thing every time there's a big layoff. How dozens upon dozens and hundreds of workers cut from a company, and the executives getting bonuses beyond belief. Like, doesn't make any sense. I thought you guys had to cut workers in order to, you know, hold back on the debts and all. But hell, I don't know that kind of math myself. It's all about like self interest at this rate. Goes to the executives. So
Yeah, I mean, but the thing is, it's kind of, I'm surprised Naughty Dog was telling people to keep quiet about this, um, and to tell developers, hey, you're still working till the end of October, even if we're letting you go at the end of October. So we still expect you to do what's expected of you. I mean, these people, I mean, on one hand, while they're probably still being paid at least till the end of October, they need to find new jobs when that happens in a few weeks.
oh yeah.
And I'm surprised Naughty Dog was telling its employees, "Hey, keep quiet about this news." I mean, it's almost like they got something to hide. Because
That's
if
the
because
bonuses to the workers. That's one thing though.
yes, so I mean, but I mean, you see, it's we do this every podcast. We hear of at least now one studio or multiple studios cutting back workers. This is the first time where uh, the higher ups are telling employees, "Hey, be quiet about these layoffs." You know, it just looks suspect.
Well, at least they're like Konami with their working conditions I hear. So it's kind of like, thinking that it's just a typical 25 people laid off, not like thousands upon thousands you know, being disciplined for leaking information from through Konami and all. Because Konami, I heard that they mistreat their workers very badly. So
Yeah, so unfortunately, it sucks for those people. And like I said, I just don't think Naughty Dog is handling this the right way at all.
oh yeah.